A recent survey found about 43% of employees expect organizations to continue offering work from home options even after the pandemic ends. It comes as companies try to navigate the Delta variant and decide when or if teams should return to the office. The survey from PayScale found while employers have different strategies and priorities, nearly 3/4 agree remote work will change the talent landscape, especially in white-collar industries. To discuss this survey, I want to bring in Scott Torrey. He is the CEO of PayScale and joins us from Seattle. Scott, welcome. Thanks for being with us. So what did this survey by PayScale reveal about how work is changing for those who can perform their jobs remotely?
Yeah, what the survey revealed is that there is a wide gap between what employees are seeking right now. As you indicated, over 25% of employees expect to be working remotely, either permanently or significantly. In the technology space where I live, it's almost 70% of employees are seeking a more remote or flexible option. But the complication is employers, over 81% of employers have not yet really clarified their plans and their strategies here. And that gap in terms of what employees are seeking clarity on and their expectations is causing a little bit of a challenge in the market.
Right. So there's the gap between employee expectation and employer expectation. So this survey also found that nearly 7 in 10 organizations say they do not plan to decrease pay for current employees doing most of their work remotely. But is where employees live versus where their companies are located becoming a big factor when it comes to determining salaries?
So this is one of the most hotly debated topics and important ones for companies to have a clear strategy around. Historically, location has served as one of the biggest indicators. And as you've indicated, 69% of companies don't intend to change that as of right now. But there are some really big test cases out there. Companies like Google and Facebook being very visible and very public about giving employees more clarity that if you choose to move, we'll choose to change your pay. And that continuum and that debate is what's going to continue to resolve itself in the market.
It's interesting. So do you think we will see that change as some employees decide they want to keep working from home? Are they willing to take the pay cut to do that? Or are they going to fight and say, look, my work is valued exactly the same if I can do it as well from here as from there?
I think that one of the things that's been really clear through this pandemic is that employees have adjusted tremendously, and the impact that they've had on their companies and the quality of the work that they've done has been very high. And so I would expect that what's going to happen is we are going to see a bit of a migration towards more aggregated pay on a more national level and less specific pay associated with the exact location you're in, because location is becoming much more temporal. And I think this is a good thing. I think it gives us opportunity to find talent that we may not have had access to before. It allows us to increase our focus on diversity, and some of the challenges that companies have had with finding diverse candidates are eliminated. So there's some real positives that come from opening up the labor markets, opening up your possible hiring locations.
Absolutely. But there are also challenges in that it's harder to mentor people. It's harder to get to know people in your organization. If you have some people coming in and some people working remotely, won't managers just by default sort of favor the people that they're seeing in front of them every day because they feel like they're getting to know them better? So there are certainly challenges in any sort of hybrid model, aren't there?
Yeah, there certainly are. And we face those every day as we've been at this for almost 18 months. And so there's no doubt that the complication of always working remotely and the lack of intimacy that creates sometimes is a challenge. And I think you're seeing a lot of companies starting to pivot towards more of their investment on exactly these topics. So we used to invest in chefs and masseuses in the tech space to attract talent. Now it's in collaboration tools, it's in offsite capabilities, it's in the ability to find ways to engage and to collaborate that are just different. And the pandemic continues to impact this. And so the investment companies are making are moving in this direction, will continue to evolve.
And so, according to this survey, what are some of the top priorities for employees right now? And what do they want to see from their companies moving forward? Have their priorities shifted? I mean, for so long, employees really just wanted to make a lot of money, get ahead as much as they could and as quickly as they could. But has the pandemic, placed some other priorities front and center?
Listen, I think the pandemic has put us all in a challenging position. We are working from home, we're working with our families, we're working with other pressures on us. And so the things that come out in the PayScale survey that employees are telling us is they're seeking some flexibility, they're seeking support, and they're seeking options that allow them to both continue to deliver as the employees, the quality employees they want to be, but also as the moms and dads that they're required to be.
Nothing wrong with a little balance in life. Scott Torrey, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.